Resume record. Okay, so here we are to do spring weeping willow. I didn't really necessarily know what to name this, but it sort of suited the purpose of all of the stuff that every one of us, I think, have gone through. We're just ready for a season change. I know I am. So
Absolutely.
anyway, so I'm going to switch my camera and we're going to get started.
You want us to mute now, Chris?
Yes, if you would.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, what we're going to do first is that we're going to take one of the mop brushes and we're going to put it in some water. And normally I do not do a lot of water with my paintings, but this one I have done quite a bit because the background here to get this to look like it is sort of foggy in the back and distance. That is what I was able to do. That is that was with the mop brush and the little bit of liquid mixed with the paint. Um, so basically, what I do is I dip my brush in water. Now we don't want it soaking wet, so I will take a paper towel and just sort of dab it out. I'm just taking a paper towel and just like getting most of the big, like all the drips and stuff out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that wet brush and I'm just going to go all over my canvas with it, with the water. And I'm going to cover every area of it. I just want to make for sure I got it good and wet. That way, when we do the paint, it's going to flow a lot better. And so I'm here telling y'all what to do, and I never even got my white out myself. I'm ready. And I know that the canvas is white. You think, well, why would I need white? Actually, the canvas is probably the brightest white that you could have. But when we actually add a white to it, and we will be mixing some color here to make like make some of the gray. I'm gonna go ahead and put my green now. Let's see, I want this darker green. So what I do too, I try my best. Like I know what you all bought. Like you've got basically the basic colors. So I try my best to mix as much of it as I can, so that you're not going out trying to buy all these different colors of paint. We just mix them. And so okay, so we have our canvas good and wet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into actually white. And I'm using that same brush. It's still damp, and I'm going to use that same brush. Now, if it's really wet, you may want to just again take that paper towel and just dab it out just a little bit. Okay. But I'm just going to go right into this. I usually go into the side. I don't go right up in the middle. I go into the side and I'm going to just sort of pounce that paint in that mop brush. Okay, to just really get that good and loaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here in the middle. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a circle, and I'm just going to start going around and around in a circle, and I'm going to go all the way to the top. And when I did you notice when I did my painting, let's see if you all can see it, there is like a line. And so even down here, if you notice, there's a lot of reflection in the water. So even down here, I'm just going to go like in a big circle right here. It's sort of like an oval. Okay. And once I get that good and it's sort of hard because you got a white canvas, but you'll notice that it's still a little bit, you can see that there's just like almost like a shadow on the ends of where you stopped with the paint. Now, once I get that pretty well done, it's just like in an oval. I'm not going to clean this brush. I'm going to go over here. And now I'm just going to pick up just a little bit of black paint. Now on the black, I'm just going to go right to the side, right to the side of the puddle and just barely tap. And I'm going to pick that up in that same brush. I did not clean it. And I'm going to go right in the edge of where I did this white right here. And I actually, so if it's too dark, I'm just going to pick up some more. Just pick up some more white. But what I've done is I actually come all the way down. I got a lot of black in there. So I just, right where this white is, I'm going to start there. And I'm going to go all the way around. Looks like an oval right there in the middle. Okay. And I'm just going to keep mixing this all up. I'm not going to pick up any more black. I'm just going to try to work all of that black out of this brush with what paint I have. And I'm going to go all the way around like a big old oval here. And if it starts sort of looking like it's going to fade, that's okay. We actually, if you notice on the painting, it's shadowed more than it's just dark. And that's what we want. This is going to be our shadows in the back. And sometimes you just have what I'm doing. I'm just like really scrubbing that in. And you can do it in a circle if you want to, just to get all that paint out of it. I'm even going to go through here, and I'm just going to sort of make like a line through here, and that's okay. But I said, at first it's going to look like a big mess. I'm going to leave the center right in here as light as I can. And you can hear how hard I'm scrubbing. So you just really scrub with that brush to get that into that canvas, and really just empty your brush. Sometimes because you all, like Deanna, you bought new brushes, sometimes it has sizing in them. So even your flat brushes, you may want to go ahead and just put them in some water just until you get ready to paint with those, because they'll have like a sizing's almost like a, I don't know, sort of like a gluish stuff that they put on them to keep the bristles from being damaged and stuff. I'm going to pick up just a little bit. I'm going to pick up a little bit more white. And just right here in the center, especially, I'm just going to go right here. And I never did sit back right through here just to get rid of my paint altogether. Now, right here in the middle, I'm going to go right into some white. I never necessarily cleaned that brush. Now, I don't know how many mop brushes you have. I have several. And so rather than like going into, because they are a mop, they hold a lot of water. And so usually I try to have, several mop brushes so I don't have to keep trying to dry these once I put them in there. Okay. So it's just best to have more so that you don't have to keep trying to dry them and get all the water out of them. So I'm really done with this brush because I still have like it's really gray. And right now I'm going to get just another brush, another mop brush. I'm not going to put water in this one. If I'm going too fast, y'all just holler at me. Say, yeah, you go too fast. So really all we're doing right now, we're just covering the canvas. And now I picked up a new or a clean, dry mop brush, and I'm going into white. Just pouncing that white in the bristle. I did not go into water with this one. And so I'm going right back over here. And I'm scrubbing, scrubbing, scrubbing. You can hear that. It's like I'm putting a lot of pressure on that. And right down here, I'm going to the side. Put that out there. When you don't go into water with these mop brushes and you have a lot of paint on there and you want to get some of it off, you're still not going to go into water. The best thing to do is just hold your paper towel, like a paper towel, and just take that and just rub it. Like rub that paint on that paper towel to get some of the paint off if you want to get rid of it. And something too, don't forget to do your edges around here. Because these are wrapped canvases. That way they don't have to be framed or anything. And it's good to just go ahead and add some color to the sides of that. And ladies, just to let you know, when I'm like painting, I don't necessarily, like when I'm creating, I don't think of it necessarily as a painting lesson. So sometimes I'm like, okay, can I even teach what I've just done? But this one actually, even though it looks like it's got a lot of detail, this was probably one of the simplest paintings that I've done in a long time. Okay. Go across here. If I'm going too quick or too fast, y'all just let me know. Once I have, as you can see, I've got like really like a whole little area here, almost like a little oval area. Still, I mean, it's got different colors in it. It's not just white anymore, but it's going to have some shadow and everything in here. And then over to the side, even though this is really dark now, I'm going to just come over here And I'm going to put just a little bit of, the best thing I can tell you to do is just go ahead and do like your horizontal line across there of where the water starts and the earth begins. And so the easiest way I know to do that is actually just pick up white again, just right in there. You can do that with a flat brush too if you want to, but I'm just going to go right across. And it's more, if you notice, it's not just halfway. I went just a little above halfway on the horizon line here. So, and I'm just going to go all the way across. I'm going to flatten that out a little bit. And I'm just going to go all the way across, probably about, maybe down just a little bit. Just to get a line to where I know where the water's edge is going to start and where the brush and stuff is going to start. So from there, I'm just coming over here and my little puddle of black right in the edge of it. And I still have that white loaded. I do not have, and it's not thick white, but I've not cleaned that brush. So all I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to go right in the edge of that black. And even in your palette, if it's too hard, like if you feel like you're not getting the colors mixed on your palette or on your canvas, you can always mix it on your palette, like a gray or whatever. But I just feel like it's just as easy to go over here and do what we need to do with it. So what I did here is that I come down like from the sides, from the top, and I just started, I just sort of brought this down. And I did not like do any detail in it, but I just put in some color. And some of it, I would like scuffle it around a little bit. That's too dark. Some of it, I would just like scuffle it a little bit to make it a little bit more to make it look like it literally was, like some bushes and stuff in here. And if it gets too dark, we'll just go, when we go and do the rest of it, we'll put some highlights and stuff on it. And so we know that over here on both sides, there was like just some undergrowth. It looks like trees and stuff in the distance. Notice right here, especially, like it looks like it's going back in there. And so this will get, like in the light, it gets lighter. So it's light in the middle where the light's at, and then it gets a little bit darker to the sides. I'm just sort of just scrubbing that paint out there. Over here, on the side where the tree and stuff's going to go, I also put it looks like a bunch of shadow, but it's also some undergrowth. So I'm going to just make this a little darker on this side as well. And look, I'm not letting that stop just like a little square place. I'm taking it all the way across just so that it'll be like shadows and stuff in the water. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know. I wanted to let y'all know something, and I don't know whether I got it in here. But one thing, sometimes if you see that your paint, I didn't bring one in here, it's been a while. If you see that your paint doesn't want to, it seems like it's drying too fast, or instead of going into water, a lot of times I use what we call floating medium. And of course, I don't have any in here. Floating medium, yeah, I do. There's some. See if I do. Yeah, there's some. The floating medium is like it's like the clear medium in paint. It's before they put pigment in it. So it's not expensive. It's probably like $2 or $3 for a big old bottle. This one I think was probably $1.99 or something. But this is just a clear medium. And sometimes instead of going into water, a lot of times in my paintings, I use clear medium because you still want that thickness sometimes on those brushes to be able to get those strokes. And if you add water, then that paint gets real runny, where this is still thick and it adds to it. And so I'm not going to use it just because you guys don't have any of it. And I'm going to show you what to do if you want just you can always go into water. But sometimes, like we've done the underpainting already, if we went into water right now, that would just go all the way back to that canvas, and it would take up all the paint that you just put on. And it's hard to correct when it does that. Now, I still have this same brush, and I'm just picking up I'm just dabbing it in the very tips of black. And I'm coming over to the side and sort of dabbing that off even to where it's not just jet black going across there. But across here, and I'm going to try to flatten that out as much as I can. Across here, I'm just going to make some light strokes across, okay? Just very light. And then down here, I'm going to just dab it. And I'm going to go all the way across this canvas, except right here in the corner. And I sort of ended it right here in the middle, just about. Okay? I'm just going to go right there, right here some, over here. So basically, this is going to be if you look, this is all of our undergrowth here, or like the shadows even for it. Okay? Watching our time here. We got plenty of time. Again, I've got some of that paint in that brush. I'm just going to go around there. Now, let me know where y'all are at. I'm going to see if I got anything on this one. That one was wet. Shouldn't have done that.
Okay, Chris, what are you blending right there?
Okay, I still have the black and the white in this brush. I've never
Okay.
cleaned that. So it had
Now
some
you're
yeah, I'm just going across here because it's just giving more shadow and stuff to the water is all it's doing. I'm just cleaning out what little bit of paint I had in this brush. Down
okay.
here, I just pounced this right through here to make, I know sometimes I might be able to, I got the actual paint in here. Let's see if y'all can see what I'm doing. But like, see how dark it is right down here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I did the same here. I just put like a darker, like a little patch through here. And I did that all with that same brush. I just picked up some, now all of this other, like the limbs, the trees, and all that kind of stuff, of course, we're going to do with the flat brush. So I'm just right now, we're just doing our underpainting. We're trying to get as much shadow and stuff in here and stuff that we can get, okay, before we actually go and put the details in it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, mine don't look like yours, but it is what it is.
Don't feel bad, Wanda.
I still look like I got a big light in the middle.
Well, it's supposed to be a big light in the middle, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I got a big light in the middle. It's like a big oval here.
Yeah.
I do not have the right brushes,
Let me
period.
see. Let me see what you got.
Yeah. I'm using these makeup brushes and I'm like, oh my
That's
God.
all I got. I'm telling you, these are makeup brushes. Let me see what
Yeah,
you got.
mine is probably like old or something. So yeah, I had to switch makeup brushes.
What you got, Deanna?
Well, just really, this is the only thing I've got to work with is you can't see it. Here, let me get rid of
So
this.
you
Hold on.
got a flat. You wasn't
That
actually able
just
to get
this,
your.
that's it. And
Okay,
this
so
is
what
not the
you
best, but I'm making it work.
well, I was gonna say what you do is with that, pounce it. Like,
Yes, I figured that out,
yeah,
Chris.
if you
Yeah.
just pounce, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would I'll tell you too, if you do you have a sponge? Do you have a household sponge?
I do.
Use a
I
sponge.
actually have a makeup sponge.
There you go.
Oh,
That's
let me go
it.
grab it.
Yeah.
Let me go grab it.
Mhm.
I'll mute mine back again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that way you can do it with the sponge or the makeup
Oh man, this works good.
sponge. I've done whole paintings just with a household sponge. I mean, it just depends on, like this, you could have probably done a household sponge and done a lot of this. It would have done the same. The brushes, the reason I like the my brushes is that they do blend and they get where they blend, it's like they really mix that color in to where it looks muted. Like this looks real foggy in the background, and that's what we sort of want to begin with. And then when we put the color in, it pushes all of the color up front, where this is all in background, and that's what you want.
Man, Chris, that was the ticket.
Very good, very good. I have found when I first started doing this, I had used what I had. And I would just look at it and I thought, well, what do I have that I could do that with? And usually a sponge was always a good thing. So I just picked up just a little bit more of, now it's not black. I'm not going into directly black. I am. Like I'm picking up black and over here I still have some white. And I'm just sort of mixing up a gray here on my palette rather than doing this time here. But over here to the side, because we want this sort of like in shadow, what looks like shadows. And so it's just a little bit darker gray than what we had. And I'm just picking up a little bit more. And almost like I'm just sort of like putting waves in the water here. I'm just going over here to the side. I'm not doing it like even. I'm just going over here, just picking up like a little bit of like a darker gray, but yet not black. And over here, clear to the side here, I'm just scrubbing that in there. Scrub, scrub, scrub. all the way to the bottom. And it's okay if you want to come over here, just even like to sort of make some lines, you can pick that right back up with the, when we do the white, I'm going to do the same thing over here. If you notice right here, like this is shadow right through here. And then once I actually did the shadows and stuff, I come back over it, and that's when I put the yellow and stuff in, because up here the bushes and stuff where the light is hitting on it, they're going to be brighter. And I put actually some yellow in here to where it reflected in the water down below. But right now, this is still like an underpainting, and that's all we're doing right now. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know where you guys are at. Have you got everything pretty much in, or because because I have these brushes, I know that you guys may not have as many as I do, but I'm going to go, once I get this much of it done, I'm going to go right here, like right in here, and even up here on the corner, I'm just going to go into some just plain white. Okay. And I'm just going to pounce it. It's not going to be thick at all. It's just a white. And I'm just going right through here. Look, I'm just pounce. You can do that with your sponge. I'm just sort of pouncing that around, and I'm just putting some highlights in. Okay. This also is where, after I did this, let me show you. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. If you notice right here on the corner, it's sort of light right here as well. Up through here, it's light. So I'm just going to sort of pounce in some more light through there. Because every one of the branches just about is going to cover most of this. But we want it to look like, okay, there's still bushes and there's stuff in the background. So I'm just picking up a little pounce of white, and I'm coming over here and I'm pouncing that in. And especially like where that light is coming in, right here on the sides, that's where I'm doing it. Okay. And of course, once we get all the details in, we'll put some more white in here. Right in here, it's going to be sort of. Okay. So this basically, just let me know where y'all are at. Now I'm going to move on to my flat brush. Now in the background, now whichever one you guys are more comfortable with, as you can tell, like in my original painting, the tree, I want you to see something. Here's my inch brush. And notice the size of the tree. Look here. So that's what I used. I used my inch brush. So I started with that, and all I have to do is to make it more narrow is I just turn that brush up as I'm going. I turn it more up on its side. So I start flat, and then I go up and I start turning it to make it and not at a lot less pressure. So there's a lot of pressure here to make that stroke. And then I go up and I start turning. Okay.
Was that all black, Chris?
Yeah, it will be. I'm not there yet, though. I'm not ready for that.
Oh.
I'm just letting you know.
Oh.
It's the
I was like,
flat
wow, how did you do that so fast? I got up and walked away. I went to go rinse out my water.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, I'm not doing that yet. We're going to put some more of the waves or like the ripples and everything, the shadows, everything in the water before I actually do that big tree, because all of the branches and stuff, if you see, they're going to come down and touch that water. And so you want to have all of that in place before you cover that up. So what I'm going to do, though, now anytime I go to use a flat brush, I always go into water, and then I wipe all of that water out of that bristles. I just really like soften those bristles. Is all I'm doing. I don't leave no water in there. Especially you, again, you have sizing because you bought new brushes. You have sizing in your brushes. That's why I had you to put them in water, and that gets all that sizing out, and so it makes those bristles a lot smoother, and it'll help you to get paint in those bristles as well. So basically, I just went into water. What I do is I put a paper towel down, I take my thumb, and I just squeeze that water out of there. And that way it doesn't have any water in there. I do that basically just to soften those bristles so that it'll accept paint. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into this white, and I'm going to just take white on both sides. Just really get that good and loaded. Probably about 3/4 of the way up. And then right across here, where it starts with the dark, I'm actually going to put in just a strip of white to each side of that. Okay. And then, now I was up on the edge with that. Notice I was up on the very edge, and I went all the way across, and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on that to get that to stand up and do what it needs to do to empty that paint. Okay. Now, over here on this side, if you see, let me see, you'll see there's quite a bit of light and stuff over here as well. Now, I'll come over here. This time I just did not do it as heavy on my hands. I sort of tilted my brush a little bit toward like up. Let me show you. Look here, I've got it at an angle rather than just straight. I went straight across here and kept that straight across. This one, to come around here to do this, I'm just giving it a light touch, but it's sort of at an angle. And I'm just sort of dragging that on. I'm just letting that do that naturally, what those bristles will do. And I come back over here and I met it at the same place to where it looks like there's like ripples and stuff in the water right through here. Okay. I'm also, since I've got this loaded right through here, I'm doing that swap through there. It's a light touch, but I'm just bringing more white into the very center of that. And I'm just doing little tiny movements to make that all the way across and to bring that down. Because this is where our light is going to shine from that opening that we have created where the light is coming in. And we're going to bring it, I'm going to bring it all the way down here, even on top of these things that I had done. Again, it's a light touch. I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on that brush at all. Okay. Some of it I brought off closer or like further to the sides. Again, leaving some shadow up here. I know it's hard for you all to. I tried to just do a picture, just printed it off to see if it would be easier for you all to see the canvas and what we're actually painting than this big old, try to work this big old canvas out here on this, although maybe it's because it's bigger, you might be able to see more detail. Let's see. Let's see if it'll work. So basically we're working on the water right now. So see, even right here, you can see that I mean, like I said, my paintings, they never look exactly alike because I don't necessarily, I mean, I don't say, okay, step one, step two. When I'm doing this, I'm just creating, okay? So, but up here in the corner, if you notice, there's quite a bit of light right here. I'm going to put, and even right here, there's still quite a bit of light. So I'm just going to do little X's and O's or like just, I'm just sort of feathering that in there right there. And right here in this corner, I'm just sort of scrumbling. Scumble, just to make a little bit of light through there. And up here at the, and specifically, look, right in here, we know that there's going to be a lot of light. And of course, we're showing it down here in this water. Okay. Now, I have this brush, and I know that I put some, like in this bush right here, I actually may use a, I think I'm going to use, right here though, I put in the bush, I actually used still my makeup brush, okay, my mop. But I know that I'm going to have yellow in that bush right there. So while I've got this brush already loaded, I'm just going to tap into a little bit of yellow and white. And I'm just making it very light. Just like almost like it's just very tinted. And then right here, where this shadow is coming in, this darker, right through here, I'm just going to scrumble across or like just go very lightly. I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow in there. And I'm going to end it about right here where this thing is at. Sometimes if I don't necessarily like the way it's looking, because I want it to be blended in there. Okay, let me take it. What I'm going to do is this is my mop brush. This is the same one that had the white and the dark in it. I'm just going to scrumble that across, or like really, like just to get all those rough edges off of there. See if I have enough that I'm happy with it. Now just sort of makes all those hard edges leave, and just leaves that. They look like waves. They look like it's the light reflecting just like it does here. Sometimes you might even like just bring a little bit of that over. You can hear how hard I'm pressing on that canvas. Now, this brush is pretty well dry because it was one of those that I had to begin with. Okay. Now, I still want more white in my middle here. To me, it's just not white enough. So I'm actually going to go after I'm going to get rid of that yellow. And I'm going to put just another little swap of white through here. The dog's getting ready to bark. I'll give you warning. Colin just pulled in, and I put Ranger in his cage because he was already up the window barking at the cats. I just want a little bit more white in here. Scrumble, scrumble, scrumble.
Oh, I've got yellow on my brush.
Just take a paper towel and just like what I showed you to do with your thumb and
Yeah.
your feet, just it'll come out usually on that paper towel. As I said, we have a dog. Guess I could mute until he's done. Okay. That was over. I picked up green. So there you go. See, I don't care, Dan. I don't care who you are. You're going to pick up some paint sometimes you don't mean to. I know that this is going to be some green up in here, so what do? I wiped off some of it, but some of it I'll just put up here to get rid of it. Okay. Now on my original one, I didn't like, I'm wide right here. I'm really a lot of white right here. And I mean, that's perfectly fine. I can actually, fill in some more before I ever put these bushes and stuff in here. If I want more of the shadow in there. I definitely want more through here, because if you notice, look at this painting. I mean, it's really like dark on this edge, more light over here. So it gives you the illusion that the light is shining in this direction. That's why I put the yellow here. So over here, I've got a little bit more dark grayish. And so I'm going to just do that really quick. I'm going to have to get me some more white out. And you will, I need some more. Okay, so basically on this, I'm not going to go over here and mix it on my canvas. I'm just going to mix me up a gray right here. A lot more white than black. And I'm just going to mix it up with this brush. And right through here, just still, I just want it a little bit darker. So right through here, I mean, just on this line right here, I'm just going to scrumble some of this dark in here. When I say that, I mean, I just sort of do it randomly. I don't, it's not like I'm trying to create a bush or anything, but I just sort of, in the background, I just go up and down to make it looks like it's got bushes and stuff in there. Okay. Again, right here on this line where this water line was, I went through here and I actually picked up just a little bit of black with that to where it made it look darker. And like almost like where this would ride over here. Let me see. Go right through here again. But like where this was pretty well ending, I went all the way off the canvas just about. And did almost like, it made it look like it's almost like the shoreline. Okay. And then I actually still put some more lines through here for shadow, especially on this side. This was with my large flat brush. All I done is I had that white in there, and I just barely picked up a little bit of black on the corner of that brush. Now I didn't up here. I mean, I went through here and I actually done it with like a grayish color I mixed up. But now for this, I'm just picking up just a little bit of black on the tip of that tip of that brush, and it's still loaded with the gray and the white. So, and I'm just coming through here and I'm adding like more shadows in the water, more like effects, like, like, I guess like ripples that could be in the water. The same over here. Notice, okay, so we had the yellow over here where that was at. But still, in order to bring that yellow out, I did just a little bit of like shadow through here. Just a little bit of, oops, that's too black. So right along the edges of that. And it can even actually go sort of inside of some of that to make it look like it's a natural thing. Not, again, just like ripples in the water. I started right here and sort of went all the way down, almost like it curved all the way back around to where this was at. And so up here, like where this starts, I did just a little, again, just a very light touch of black, just to sort of separate the line of land from where the water began. Right through here. More shadows. Okay, I think I'm gonna make this just a little bit darker through here. And all I'm doing, again, I still have that, you can see I've got my white paint still in that brush. All I'm doing is picking up just little tiny, I'm not even going into the puddle of black. I'm going over to the side of it and just sort of picking up black on the very tips of my brush. And then when I lay it down, I'm not using the top here, but when I lay it down, it just sort of scrumbles across that to where I'm not having to stand it up and make strokes. And between the both of them, it's sort of making just like a darker gray. Okay. Okay. This up one more time right through here. Okay. All right. I'm going to clean that brush. Okay. Now, this is usually the scary part, and I'll prepare you for it. But notice I went, look here, I'm going to say, this is how I did this. I went right up here, okay? That's probably, what, 3-4 inches. And right here. So I just, look, you can just, I just do a little line there. That's where I know that I started with my tree. Okay, it don't have to be that precise ever. Now, on this tree, I went into black, but I also like did the very tip of it in some white. So it's really more black. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. Look what I'm doing. I'm going in here and I'm going to get this brush really loaded with black. And this was a solid black. Okay. Now what happens is where I have so much white and stuff through here, it just gets lighter as you go because you're still going to have quite a bit of white up here. Okay. But I'm going to tip that corner of that white I'm gonna come right over here where I done all that. And I'm just going to work that white basically out of it to make like a gray. Okay.
Chris, could you please repeat?
I'm sorry, do what?
Can you repeat what you just did?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's start back over with this tree deal.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
still at the dot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just
So
about
I
at
still
the
have,
dot.
look, I still have the dot there. I just sort of made a little mark there to know where I wanted to start. Okay. Then what I'm doing is I'm mixing up a black. But I've started with black, just black on my brush. Okay.
Right.
Just black. And
Okay.
then I just barely tipped the corner after I had that all black. I just took the very tip of that brush and hit some white, just a little tiny dot of white on the corner, the very tip of that brush.
Okay.
And then look what I did. I come over here with that black and that white tipped on my brush. Let me, I've mixed mine in so you can see what it looks like now, but you see there's a little tip of white and then most of it was black. I go over here to that puddle of black I've got, and I've rubbed that. It's like I just really worked that paint in to where I want you to look at my brush once I got it done. Look at my brush. It's like it's solid black on one side, but it's got just a little tiny light of gray over to the other side. Okay. And so all I did again is I just double loaded this brush. I just took black and I went over here and I just did mostly black. And then I just tipped that one corner in a little tiny dot of white. And I come over here and work that in. Look on my palette what it looks like. See, there's a gray here and there's a
Mm-hmm.
black. So once I have that color, I'm going to start this tree. Now, notice I went up above, let me show. I went up above the water with the branches. Okay. So we're going to bring it over to the side. I just want you to know that so you guys don't go so low that you're going to cover up all of the brightness you just did. Okay. So we're going to go up to the top. And then when I start going to, again, sometimes it's easier if you can just picture just like your fingers, say like 2 or 3 inches. Okay. Look, probably, let me see, this would be this much from the bottom. Come over here to the top, and it's about the same bunch right here. So that's where your other branch is going to start like going out. Okay. So just think of thirds in your canvas. So here's a third, here's a third, and here's a third. So that way you'll know the trunk goes up to here, and then this will be your third. Okay. If that makes it easier, sometimes it don't. I don't think in those terms when I'm painting. So that's why when I'm actually just creating, I don't necessarily think in those terms. So let me see if I can show you this rather than. Okay. So what I've done is I've made that little mark to where I know that that's where it's going to start. Okay. And I start out straight to begin with. Like I start out straight. Let me see. I see something in my way. Hold on just a second. Okay. Can you all still hear me and see me? Can you hear
My
me and see me?
brush. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think my brush is too big for this. I need to change brushes.
Let me see what you got.
I really think that's too fat.
What do you
What
mean
do you
too fat? Let me see
for the
that.
trunk, for the tree trunk?
Okay. Now, see, mine's wide. I don't know whether mine is an inch. This is an
Oh,
inch.
well, then mine's good. Okay, mine's good then.
You just want look how sharp I've got it. I want you to look how sharp my edge is on that brush.
Yeah.
So if yours is getting fat in the middle, that just means that you haven't loaded a lot of paint in there. So you just want to make for sure that you get that sharp chisel edge on those brushes.
Okay.
Okay. And then I usually always, I like to go and tip it one more time. Okay, so here we go. Let me see if I can show you all that. Well, it's like these canvases are so big for this. Let me do that much anyway. So, okay. So what I've done is just a minute, I start doing like, remember I said that I have that bottom gray, like a grayish color on the bottom. Now, also too, this is going to take a lot of paint. So we'll have to probably reload before it's over with. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on that brush. Notice, let me show you what I'm doing. Like when I put pressure, those bristles are flexing, okay? So I'm putting a lot of pressure on that brush. I know I'm going to go up this angle. So what I do is I start off and I'm going to head that angle. Already it's like my paint is going to dry really, really quick for some reason. But that's what I said. Sometimes I have to use a floating medium just because of the humidity and stuff in my house. Let me just keep getting plenty of. Okay. Okay, so here we are again. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on that brush. And I'm going to start making, and I've got, look how the bristles have fanned out. And as I go, I'm just moving that up. And see how that's leaving that edge there? So that's why I need, let me see, what did I do with that? I put it back. What did I do? There it is. I actually have to have some floating medium, I think, just because my paint is drying up too fast. Let me go in here again. Okay, so here we are. And as I go up, I'm releasing the pressure to where it's not as fat going up as it was at the beginning. Okay. And like I said, this takes a lot of paint because this is a big stroke. And your brush is only covers like, okay. So when I come up here, I'm getting, looky here, what I'm doing. When I come up here, I'm getting skinnier because I'm turning that brush. I'm turning that brush basically, and I'm standing it up. Let me show you. So when I get up here a certain point, I'm no longer putting that pressure here. I'm putting it on I've got that brush at an angle, and I'm going all the way up, and I'm almost standing that brush clear up on its bristles by the time I get over here to where I want it to go. Okay. Okay, and then you will have to reload this brush several times. Okay, like I said, my tree, like I said, all of these will probably look a little different just because of just the location and everything else and what I've done to begin with. So I'm going to come up here and above the water, and I'm going to put in another branch to the side. And look, I've got that straight up. I've actually got it straight up. I'm just putting pressure on that. And I'm dragging it as I I'm going all the way off the canvas with it. I did another one. I did another branch right here in the middle. You see, I don't like this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this, but right here, because I come across like that, I'm actually going to come right here where that one left off, and I'm going to come back over here to where I can get that to go all the way where I need it to go. That's one thing about a branch or about a tree. You can have as many branches as you need. And then off from here, I'm going to put off another branch. And then maybe, looky here, I got some going off of here. And those are really light touches right here. Like when you do branches, the more pressure you put on that brush, the wider those strokes are going to be, the fatter. The less pressure, you can get those little tiny branches. And so now that's what I'm going to do. Look, after you do this big tree, if you're done with like putting the bigger branches in your tree right through here, you can get rid of this brush and go down to that's when I use this brush, the smaller flat. All of this other work I did was with this smaller flat brush after I got my main big branches in. Okay. Just a little bit more there. This one I'm going to make it a little fatter because I want it to be more pronounced. And notice I put them right off the canvas. You can actually just spray it all the way through here if you want to. I didn't on my first, but you can. So, and if there's one that you don't like I don't like this one. To me, it's too skinny here and too fat up there. I'm just going to.
Yeah. No.
Okay, which brush are you using?
No, I just don't like the way the branch turned out. Is all. I wanted it to be a little bit skinnier, but it's okay.
Well, remember, you're going to cover up a bunch of it too. So all of these different little branches, I'm going to get rid of this big fat brush right this second. And right here, I did do down in the water where it looks like in the water. I did put, and see, I come out a lot further here than what I did here, which I don't like either because I kept dragging it. So basically what I need to do here, I think, is just, well, notice I do have another tree right here. So I might just come right here. And because I already have, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I do have like a tree right here. So what I can do here is just make that tree just a little bit bigger. Like I said, when I do a painting, I don't necessarily think about teaching it. So they're never the same. And so I'm just going to go right across here. And look, I just made another. I'm just going to go right across, even over top of that, and go through here. Okay. Okay, then I'm getting rid of this brush. This is my big fat one. I'm going to go to my smaller one now. This is mine. Now you got either number 10, number 12. Again, I always go into water and then I wipe that water out. just to soften those bristles. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to make these little branches. And notice some of them are very light gray right here in the middle because of the light. And so I'm going to start with them first, I believe. I'm just mixing me up. Look, I got black. I got black and white. Looky here. I want you to see my brush. I tipped it in black, and then I tipped it in white. And I come right over here. Look at my palette. Man, that humidity, or maybe it's not humidity, it's just drying my paint up really quickly, like it's. So all of these little tiny branches, again, notice, let me show you. I want to show you pressure. Even with this little brush, if I put a lot of pressure on that brush, I'm going to have a big, wide limb. Okay? Like I said, man, my paint is drying up quickly. But look, if I just barely put pressure on that, anybody lucky?
Yes.
If I just barely put pressure on that, look how thin I can get that.
Yep.
I can even get it thinner depending on how.
Yep.
And then I'm just riding it in the direction that I want it to go. Okay, if I want to, and I can do more off of those. Listen, student.
We're focusing.
Yes, you are. Yay. Okay, so look, I'm just going to, just wherever you want some branches to be, but notice like in my painting, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of branches down here to where I can put my willows to go down into the water. Okay.
Deanna, will you mute yourself so I can see Chris?
What were you seeing? What are you seeing?
All I can see is Deanna.
Oh, okay. Maybe the switch. Hold on just a second. It might have switched. No, I've still got on speaker room. Oh,
I
okay.
can see you now, Chris.
Okay. So see, it's whoever talks. Yeah. Whoever talks shows up on the screen. That's why I said, yeah, sometimes it's easier to stay muted if y'all don't mind, just so that you guys can see and hear me. Look, I'm just putting a bunch of branches in here wherever I want them to go. It's a light touch. Going over top of every one of them. Some of them thicker, some of them thinner. I just want to make for sure I get plenty of branches down here to where I can do my vines or my willows. We need some sort of skinny ones for that.
Okay, so you're still using you're using gray to make them look further away or lighter?
Yeah,
Because
I'm
they
just,
look gray compared to the big branches.
yeah. So in the middle, you want them to, remember I said you want them to look more gray here
Okay,
because of the light. So
okay.
basically I still have some black on there, but I'm coming over here and I'm mixing it. I've got white on one side, black on the other. And so when I come through here, I'm leading with the white. So it
Yeah.
makes a grayer because that gray, the black is going over top of that white, so it makes them more gray.
Okay.
Okay. So we just want to make for sure that we have, we have plenty of branches to do our willows on.
Oh.
I even come up here, if you notice at the very top, I've got some just coming. It looks like there's more trees up here. So I just got some limbs coming all the way across here. While I've got that gray sort of loaded in my brush right here on this big tree trunk, I'm just putting a few marks to make it look like, it could be bark and it could be shadow and stuff like that. Even back here on this one. And I know I'm putting a lot of branches in here, but we want to make for sure that we have plenty to just hang those willows off of. And they have to sort of overlap sometimes. I had some through here. So okay. Okay, I cleaned that flat brush. I want to show you guys how. Now I've got green. Now notice I put just I wanted this to be a lighter green because of the light shining on it. I think what I've got right now is probably a darker green. I don't know what color green you have. I actually put a darker green out. I think I'm going to put on a lighter green,
I have a sage.
a sage. Okay, that's pretty, yeah. Okay. So in the green, okay, I've got this flat brush again, and you all seen how I just double loaded. I did the green, and then sometimes I would do white, through there. Sometimes I just did solid green. But when I come down here, notice the colors. I did white, basically white and just specks of green. And sometimes even over here, like right through here, I should have done that already. I have yellow. Remember I told you, shoot, let me do that real quick. I got this brush. I still have my little my little makeup brush. And right in here, right in there, right where this is, right through here, and that bush right here, up above this, where this limb was. Like I said, I've got mine way over here now, so it's got to be right there. I'm just going to pick up just a little tiny bit of yellow and white. More white than yellow. It's just going to be a little tiny tint of white through here. I'm sorry, of yellow. I'm pouncing that in there. And I'm just going to sort of scruffy that in there, just touching it ever so lightly. And I don't like that because I had it over here before, and that's where I wanted it. That's where the water is at. I might end up doing something there. I'm not for sure. I mean, it still can get the reflection of the water there, right through here. So anyway, most of it's going to be covered up. I'm not that worried about it. But like right here where this ends, right through here, I have a bunch of growth. And I'm going to, by doing that, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Just because I've put my tree over further, right through here, I'm just bringing this out a little bit more. Where this was wider through here. Now, if y'all didn't do that, you don't have to do this part. But I brought my tree over way too far, and I don't like it. So basically what I'm going to do is in that little bit of earth right there. Let's see. First, I got to do it like a grayish color. I just want that. I'm just going to put a bunch of little scruffy stuff right here, like it's a branch or like it's a. I need that wider actually. Right here, just to make it look like it was something already there. Okay. Now I'm going to get some. I'm just going to do just a little tiny bit of that yellow. And I'm going to put some, like a bush in here. Most of this is going to be covered up because we're going to put willows right over top of it. But yet, I'd already put my reflection down there. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have a bush that has the yellow in there. Okay, so that was me. Now, you guys might have already had that in there the way that it was supposed to go. Also, too, notice right through here, I did that just with a flat brush. We'll clean that out real quick. I just basically went into some gray again because it's all pushed back. I don't want a whole lot of detail in any of that. I just want it to look like this growth. So I basically just went, just like I was doing these little branches right here with the light touch. I'm just going through here. And I'm just going up through here, like putting little tiny, looks like bushes and stuff. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It's right here. This is what I'm doing. Let me move it closer. You can see little tiny stems and undergrowth and stuff like that. Okay. That's all I'm doing is just barely touching that. Okay. Most of this, like I said, is going to be covered up. So you're not even going to see it necessarily. Like it's not going to be bright. It's going to be muted back there. I'm like right through here. I just don't like the way that turned out. So I'm going to. And that would be. Okay. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to start on the willows. I'm going to use this brush to show y'all what I do. Now, like back here, the
Okay,
further,
guys, hold on a minute. Can you just go over what you did? Because my tree looks like that too, to where I've got this empty space to the right.
can you show it to me?
How do I do that?
Just put it up in front of your camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can you push it up further, closer? Here, wait, let me put you on speaker. Yeah, let me put you on gallery. Okay, can you raise it up just a little bit? Yeah. Okay, so what are you at? Oh, where you had the wider space over here to
Yeah,
yeah, just
it's
put
just a big gap of white.
okay, so what I done, let me show you what I done.
Okay.
Let me see. I just come over here with like and just put in some bushes.
So
But
you went back, did you go back to the bigger brush that you had for
no,
the,
I used the same little one. I just went to tip. I just did the tip of
okay,
this.
okay.
Okay, and right here, notice right here in the very back, that is trees with limbs, and all of those branches are going to come down. So it's even going to cover this
Oh,
right here. A lot
okay.
of it does.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I said a lot of that you're not going to even see, but
That's
I've
right.
already done the highlight of the yellow in the water because I knew that was going to be a yellow bush there. And because I
Okay.
come further out with my tree, I put two yellow bushes on it, one on each side, just to make for sure I
Okay.
got that yellow there. Okay.
All right. So, and it was just, did you put yellow and white?
Yeah, I just did yellow and white, very light yellow actually, and more
Did
white.
you got the black out of your brush before you did it?
Yeah, because I've got different brushes too, so I'm not having to clean every time I turn around. But yeah, I
Oh,
did. I don't have no black in this. This is a
okay.
smaller brush. This is not that big brush that we did
Yeah.
the tree on. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. While you're doing that, or before you do that, let me go ahead and show you. Oh, see that. Okay, let me get back on speaker view so y'all can
I'll
see.
mute it, mute mine.
Okay. I think she had to step away. I'm gonna wait. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do your bush if you want to while she's gone. So that
You just use the scrunching motion,
for what?
the bush,
Yeah, yeah,
scrunch it. Okay.
yes, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So on these willows, this is what I've done. I've got right now I got white and green loaded. Okay. So when I say I got it loaded, I don't. I got it double dipped right here. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm trying to do this so y'all can see what I'm doing. Um, I'm going to really like mix that in, like I just did that to, black. I got black or green and white, and I'm going to keep picking that up until I get that brush good and loaded. And it'll be 3/4 of the way full when it's good and loaded. So I'm going back. I'm constantly picking up green and white. Okay. Look at the two different variations. You're going to see it on my brush. It's not mixed. It's got white on one side, green on the other. Okay. So I actually made branches. Like I actually made them with the green, like the darker green. I just come through here and wherever I wanted a branch or a willow, look, I just come down and I just made a bunch of these willows. And I just went down easily. You can just barely see that, I know. But notice where they're at. I just come through here and just wherever I wanted to see them, I just made a bunch of like stems for those to go on. And that way I can look at it before I ever do all that and see my placement. I know that I want some long ones here in the water that's going to really reflect the water on the very tips of them. So what I done is I just brought those down, just brought them further down. There's plenty of them up here to top even. And look, I didn't just go straight down. I did angles and everything else with these. Okay. Some of them, it looked like there was like, maybe forks to where I could do different ones. And you could do so many. And if you feel like you need more, then we'll do more. Over here at the side, I did like a bunch of, almost looks like it's all just back here in shadow, but at the same time, the light is reflecting on them. Okay. Okay. So once I have these branches though, or this growth, I want to show you how to do them. I'm going to go back and pick up green and white. I'm getting that good and loaded again because I just emptied that all on the stems. And I just went into white when I should have went into green. And look, I didn't go into water to clean that off. I just wiped it off with a paper towel. I don't go into water with this. I did that again. Good gracious.
How many of them are you doing, Chris?
Well, I've got the canvas, as you can see, I pretty well got it full. I did them all the way across. Some of the branches, like I said, it's got 2 and 3 on them at a time. So this probably, once you learn how to do it, though, I'm telling you, it goes really quick. So I'm just loading up again. I'll be daggum. I just keep doing that. Okay, let me show you how we're doing these branches. Okay, Wanda disappeared. Okay, there you are, Wanda. Okay, looky here. This is how I did these branches. I wish I had some. Well, maybe I can just show this, and I've got these stems right here that I just made. I just made like a bunch of skinny little lines of green paint coming through here for the branches. And I overlapped them into these branches and everything else. So right here, I started. Notice I got that sharp chisel edge on that brush. Okay. So I start right up here at the branch and I put pressure and then I pull, pressure, pull, pressure, pull, pressure, pull. And I'm doing that all the way down until finally it just sort of comes to a tip. This takes a lot of paint. So I'm going back every time. And look, here's another one. I'm pressure, pull, pressure, pull, pressure, pull. And I'm sort of going side to side. And then I bring it to a tip. Now here's the stem. So I'm going pressure, pull, pressure, pull. Okay. And again, we want quite a few of these in here. So, but it goes very quickly. So I specifically want a lot of them here in front. And look, when I went up here, I want you all to notice, look, how dark they are over here on here compared to here. They got a lot more white in them. So what did that mean? I just picked up more white on my brush when I went to do them, okay? Where before I just sort of tipped my white over here to do them here. But when I go here, I'm doing more white to make them less green and white. Now, I want to show you all something too I did. Down here at the bottom, when this started reflecting off the water, what I done is when I come over here with these strokes right here, I basically, even at the very bottom, I just tipped that corner. I've got that corner tipped in water, or I'm sorry, white. And look, I just sort of come and like sort of did like a little tail on there full of nothing but white. Because I want a lot more reflection of the white on there.
I'm not sure how yours just looks so good.
Let me see what.
As it should.
Now, what are you saying? You're just having trouble
Well,
with the
just
stroke?
the pressure and the pull, just making it
Yeah.
look as good as yours. Mine is not looking like that at all.
Okay. It takes a lot of pressure. It is taking a lot of pressure.
Maybe
But
I'm
the
using
more
too big of a.
pressure, I start saying the more pressure you put on it. Let me see if I can show you something different
I don't
than.
know if my brush might be too big.
Now I do have the small one. I'm not using that big one
I
anymore.
know I'm using almost what looks like your size, but maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Can you demonstrate the pressure and pull?
Yes.
Okay.
Because for pressure, look, let's just say we have a line. Let's say we have our line here. Can y'all see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
There's our line to where we're going to start. So when I do the pressure, and notice I've got that flat chisel edge just flat to the,
Yes.
if it's flat, it's not going to do good. It's going to be a
Right.
stroke. Okay, so basically I stand that up sort of on that sharp chisel edge. And so I just look at here. If I put a lot of pressure on it, that's what it's going to look like. Okay.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's not even a lot of pressure, but that's quite a bit of pressure.
Okay, so that's what we're trying to get it to look like.
Yeah, but not near.
Okay.
Yeah, but on the sides, like on these, it's going to be a lot lighter pressure. So I'm just barely touching that. I'm going back and forth, and I'm dragging it. When I touch it, I'm pulling it.
Okay.
Okay, like,
Okay. Mine are just like it's just okay. I think I understand. And of course it takes practice.
and when it starts getting like fluffy, like almost like you can't see your stroke, it's just time to go pick up more paint. Okay. Now down at this very bottom where it's touching the water, I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm picking up a little bit more white, and I'm just barely tapping that in there right at the very bottoms, making it look like it's literally touching the water. Even up a little bit more, just where the lights, especially where the light's shining, right there in the middle. I'm making for sure I'm getting a lot of light in there, which means a lot of white. Okay. Some of it, even back here, I actually even put some black in my green up here at the very, very top and on the sides to make it look like they were pushed like a lot further back. So again, it's just really like playing with the lights, um, darkness and shadow and light to make for sure that you get plenty of different textures or colors because you're playing with the light. It's just grays and blacks and greens and yellows and
I'll just hang yours on my wall, Chris.
well,
I am so out of practice.
and you guys just don't need to be beating yourselves up. This is, like I said, this is something I've done for years. So it comes easy after a while. But what I'm teaching you to do, like even with these strokes, you've never done before. So you just have to be patient with yourself.
This looks like a beginner's, which it should, right? Because we are, well, I am a beginner.
Well, I'm telling you, believe you me, there's paintings that I've done before I don't show to nobody still. And like I said, this one didn't start off to be shown necessarily.
Man, yours is so good.
See, to
Mine's
me,
good.
before, I'm doing mine too skinny right now.
I
I'm
like it.
It needs to be fatter though. The
I don't
branch
know what mine look like. Jeez.
the branches need to be out a little bit further.
Hey, Chris, should this be going off of each side of that branch, right? These little strokes?
Yes. So I've
Okay.
got, yeah. I mean, just some of them you can just go down so far. Look at here if you want to. Let me show you. Just go down so far and then go behind it right here.
Oh, I went across the branch.
Fine, because you got a bunch in the front too. It doesn't matter. But yeah, if you
Oh,
want,
I see what you mean, though.
so if you
Make
want,
it look like they're falling behind and in front.
so yeah, so you would just go down so far and then go underneath that same limb and then just do a few more strokes. If you don't feel like you have enough limbs in there, or, just make you some more branches and then do you some more of the palms and stuff off of them. Little miss.
I swear mine looks more like moss.
Well, that's good. It could be, again, it could be anything you want it to be. See, I think I'm going way too skinny on mine, so I just
No, yours are perfect. Yours looks like a willow tree.
Mine looks like something on down in the bayou.
well, good.
All
But that's
that green mess.
see, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's what I said. When I first started this, I didn't necessarily know it was going to be a willow. I just started doing, okay, let's just do something. I went in, sometimes I get on certain sites and I just look to just get some kind of general idea of something I might like to do. And I've seen a painting that I liked, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna try to see if I can't do something similar to that. And then after I done it, I thought, well, I don't know whether that was supposed to be willows or not, but that's what it looked like. So that's what I called it. Now up here at the top, again, I don't know if y'all noticed what I done, but to even push them back a little bit further, I did some black to make it look like it was darker back there, and some like black and green together, like just a darker green, not necessarily black, but yeah, I just did some darker greens in here too. And all I did was add a little bit of black to my green. Because if you think about, I call this spring willows. What happens in the spring? So some of them shoot out really early and they'd already turn really dark, and some of them are sort of still yellowish looking because they're just babies yet. So I did that with that. There's two different colors that I used in here, and I think I put some yellow in some of them. And notice I got them flow like in different directions too. They're not all just going in the same direction. What time are we? Oh my gosh, we're way over. We're way over, but oh well, we'll get it done. Listen, guys, sometimes going to show you. Sometimes I'm going back here and I'm just sort of, I got my brush loaded but it's like almost like a black and a green and a white mix. And I'm just going back here in the backs of these, some of them, and I'm just putting in little dabs to make it look like there's some in the back. That they're just at a distance. You can't really see what all they are. Okay. Especially back in here where the trees, like up in here, where the trees and stuff are at the very top. Notice I'm cleaning my brush quite a bit, guys. So after a while, that paint will get in those bristles and they're so fluffy and fat, you can't make those little tiny strokes. Okay, guys, really quick. I want to show y'all something. So y'all pretty well got this down. You know what you're doing. When you come down to the water, you want to make for sure. Like all I did was I just took white or mixed up like a lighter green, and I tipped those corners of that down to the water. Okay. And I put it like it looks like it's in the water on several of them. And so let me show you how I did it. I just like tipped the corner of that. I got just a, and look, I'm just barely tipping it. Now what I done is I come down further than what I had done with the green. Okay, I'm literally putting it in the water, like little taps. Okay. But what I want to show you is how to do all this stuff. I still got that white in there, so I'm just going to pick up some black. So white and black. Again, all of this, I wanted this like a, notice how dark this is. This is dark right here. So if you have that, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. Let's see what I can do here. I'll pick it up right through here. I'm just picking up some like very, a little tiny tip of white and black on my mop brush. And look, I'm just coming through here, up through here. I got a big bush right there. Up over this tree, I'm going to do that because I made that tree a lot bigger. And then I got some out here. So basically, right where this is right here, I'm just going to do that at an angle and back here. All the way to here. And then after I do that with black, I'm just going to tip that again in white. And look here, I'm just going to go right over top of it. And it's going to put that highlight in there. And it just looks like a bunch of growth. It doesn't, I mean, it's not necessarily defined. Go right up over top of that tree to sort of bury that trunk because it's so big. Do the same thing here. And just make it look like it's some growth and stuff on that. And right through here, I'm just going to go ahead and put some in. Again, just different ones. Some of them I did dark and I even have them angled sort of. This is all I've done. And then I put my stems in. Right now I'm sort of doing it more dark. And then I'll go right back over to the white. I'll put you some highlights there. Now, that's all I did with that. But what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put those stems in there. And that is, I'm doing the same thing. Like when I made the stems for the willows here, only I'm going down. I'm doing the same thing going up. It's just a very fine touch. And all of these little branches or the trees and stuff I made, I'm just putting in some growth, like some branches to make it look like that's what they're sitting on. Okay.
Hey, Chris, lift your picture up.
Okay.
Scoot it up so we can see your movements.
Okay. Okay. So again, let me show you on a plate even. I'm just, that's that sharp chisel edge, that's black. And I'm doing the same thing I'm doing that I did with this stroke, only I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just letting it go like this to make a bunch of branches, like a bunch of growth. Okay. And I'll probably do it all the way through here. You see? I'm going to put some, I already put branches or bushes here. So all I'm going to do is just bring some branches out. Okay, got one right there. I may put just a little tiny bit of white because it's already dark through there. You can't hardly see. So basically, I just brought some branches out here. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting some branches in like it's growth. And I did that, let's see how far. I did it all the way across there, actually. And that is, so that's basically it. And then I just took because some of it, I did the exact same thing I did down here. I cleaned that brush right here in the front. I clean that brush. I go and tip it in white. Get on. And look, I'm just tipping that. I'm just touching it, just barely touching it. Just put a little bit of white in there for highlights. That's all I'm doing. Back here, it would be a little bit lighter or darker just because it's in shadow still. It's getting a little bit of light there, but not a whole lot. Okay. Down here, again, I just went and tap, tap, tap into that water because that's where most of the light is. You just want that brighter. So I went into straight white with that. Okay. What you can do on these little branches like this, let me show you. Like where I put that little growth there, you can just go on each side of it and just do little taps of white. And it makes it look like it's growing something. It doesn't have to be defined. It just looks like it's some kind of undergrowth at the edge of the water. Like right here, there's like an open space. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some more growth. And because there's light, this is the light source coming here, right in the middle. It has to have some white on there. Some of the highlight right in here. Okay. Some more here. I think on some of this, like I said, sometimes I don't remember what I did, but I can see, like on some of this right up here in the middle, it does look like I have done a little bit of yellow. Again, just like all I'm going to do is just every once in a while, I've already got them painted. All I'm going to do is come in here and put just a little swath of yellow every once in a while. Okay? Y'all see what I'm doing? Maybe, maybe not. I've already got all of them painted. I got green and yellow. And every once in a while, I'm just going to come in here and just touch a few of them and put some yellow right over top. Especially right here like in the front, just because it's brighter colors there. Just anywhere you want them. Okay, guys, where we at?
Well, trying to do those white highlights right now on the bush.
Well, again, when you use this, I mean, it's so easy to where you're just barely tapping into white paint with your brush. And you can do that with any brush. It don't have to just necessarily be a mop brush, but and then you're just tapping, tap, 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 and it gets them in there. Don't forget to sign your all's paintings. That's one reason I use a script liner. Let me show you how to do that. I got a script liner here, which is a little tiny fine brush. This is the only one I really, other than the mop brush, I go into water with. And I make like a little inky puddle. And then look, I just roll that out until I get that point on there. And then that's how I sign my paintings. Also, too, like when we do like vines and stuff, this little brush sometimes can do good for vines. Like if I just wanted to do just like let me just show you. This is not for you all to do, but I mean, like if I just wanted to do a little vine through here, all I have to do is just barely touch that painting, and I could do just little vines. Okie dokie, girlies.
All right, Chris,
Okay.
I'm done.
Yay, let me see it.
You ready to see?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
Here, I'll put you on. I'll put you
Okay.
on gallery view real quick.
Can you
There.
see it?
That is beautiful for your first try.
Can
Yeah.
you get a good picture of it?
Yes.
Can you
Uh-huh.
see
Yeah.
it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Let me see. I'll put you on. I'll be quiet.
So,
Here,
as you can see, it definitely does not look like a willow. It looks more like a tree with moss.
I think it
And
looks
it's
cool for your
the
first thing. Yes.
What would be really cool is if like you could teach a class on techniques, like how you did all your weeds so beautifully. Like I really tried, but I don't feel like mine. And I know, of course, you're the professional. You've had years of experience.
Have you not watched all of my Technique Tuesday classes?
No.
I've done Technique Tuesday for 2 years.
Do you still have is it do we have access to those?
Honestly, yes, but it's through a lot of it's through YouTube now because uh,
Oh,
Facebook took down all of our live videos. So I had to.
okay. So
There's
I
a
could go to YouTube for
yeah,
on
cozy,
awesome.
Christine's Cozy Creations. You'll see some Technique Tuesdays on there. Now I don't have them all. I've done them for 2 years. I don't have them all uploaded up there. But like these strokes here, I've taught. I don't know how many times because I've done.
Okay. I
I,
didn't know, but well, this is the first class I've taken since you've gone on Zoom.
yeah, yeah.
So I love it and I'm doing more. I will do more.
Very good.
I'm
Very
gonna have to sign off because I have an appointment I got to get ready for.
girly. Well, we're definitely an hour over just about. So,
Okay,
Wanda, let me
Chris.
see your painting.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it up.
Wow, Wanda, that's great
Well, mine
too.
looks like great big branches.
okay. Okay, Wanda, you talk.
It just looks like big branches. I mean, big green things, moss, whatever you want to call it.
You know what it actually looks like? It just looks like the morning sun is just hitting them and they're not defined, but it's beautiful because it looks like that's just like foggy morning, fog coming off your water. It looks gorgeous.
Wanda, your painting is beautiful.
I'm
Thank you. I feel like I'm waiting for Troy on the alligator hunt to come and find his gator.
You did a fabulous job, really. It's beautiful.
Y'all both did good. Yay. Yay.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris.
You're so welcome.
I
I,
But
really
yeah,
enjoy this.
you're right, Deanna. The whole technique Tuesday, that is something definitely I need to do too.
Yeah.
like I said, I need to get more of them uploaded because I did them for 2 years. Every Tuesday, just about, I had done Technique Tuesday. And so I would do full paintings, but I would teach those techniques, of how to do, like how to do branches, how to do trees, how to do like wildflowers, birds, silhouettes, Christmas ornaments, hummingbirds. I've done a little bit of everything on Tuesday techniques. So yeah, I'll get them uploaded. I
Thanks again, Chris.
love it. Thank you so much.
All
And
right, I can't wait for your next class. Please make it easy.
I'll upload it and send you all the replays to it. Okay.
Awesome.
You,
Bye. Bye, Wanda.
thank you. Thank you for attending. I love it. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to shut the recording off. I'm going to stop the recording.